What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have one of the two last builds, part of my 14 build series for every new weapon thanks to Title Update 4 and the Gogma Artian system. Today, we are doing Gunlance, the Auguring Omen. Now, if you are a Gunlance player, you already know that this is not what you do. You use G Lawful Bors right here. And the reason you use G Lawful Bors is because it was the only shelling that had wide and power and slightly strong for the longest time. Minus a couple others, but this one had the highest raw attack damage. Okay, now, what I am here to tell you is that there's a new king in town. And it is our boy Auguring Omen. Now, the reason Auguring Omen has taken over, there's a couple. One, Gogma Artian skills allow you to roll better things than what you could put together with G Lawful Bors. And that's because G Lawful Bors doesn't have any set bonus skills. On top of that, you already get white sharpness, meaning all of your regular attacks that aren't shelling based are going to do more damage naturally. Lastly, it is also wide and slightly strong, but there's a specific way to get it. For your builds, for your gun lances, you need to know one thing specifically. If you want the wide, slightly strong combo, you need to roll element focus. If you want normal, you roll attack focus. And for long shelling, why you'd be rolling for long shelling, I have no idea, but if that's what you want to go for, then sure, I guess. Go ahead and go for it, I guess. You'll get long shelling with the affinity focus, but we don't talk about that. That's like the little brother. You don't do that. No. For wide and slightly strong shelling, it can be any element type with element focus, at least from what I've seen and what I've tested so far. So, in the case of this, I don't see why you would use anything other than like a paralysis or a blast gunlance, but if you so choose, make sure you take a look when you are focusing and make sure that it is the correct one based on the shelling you want, because some people might want normal shelling. Some people might want the wide shelling. Just please don't go for long shelling. It's not worth it. Okay. As far as the active skills go, the only one that really matters is Lord Soul. Ideally here, you get not Gogma Apocalypse, but Ebony Odogaron's power. And the reason for that is Burst Boost 2. You can see here that we have three pieces of gear here that have Ebony Odogaron's power for Boost 1. Okay, we are missing our final one here. That is because I was not lucky enough to roll it. I have gotten some Gormagala Lord Souls combinations and Gogma Apocalypse with Lord Soul, but I did not get a burst one, a Guardian Ebony Odogaron's power one. So, if you are rolling your gun lances and you want them to look like mine, this is what you go for. Just substitute Gogma Apocalypse for Ebony Odogaron's power. This will give you burst level 4, and the reason burst level 4 is because it does a crazy amount of work. Okay, you can take a look and see here. Burst Boost 2 further extends the duration and gives plus 18 raw attack while burst is active. That is a lot of extra damage when most of Gunlance's abilities base itself along raw damage. Okay, so super important. And once again, aim for Lord Soul for guts with Burst Boost, or the Ebony Odogaron's power. Okay, as far as the reinforcement bonus goes, I would say you are more than likely able to drop this sharpness boost right here for another attack. I think, at least because this is an element focused one, you do not have the negative affinity hitting you, meaning you will just sit there and do a crap ton of extra damage. So, attack 4 of them mixed with 1 sharpness EX, okay? This will give you plenty of white sharpness, and let's be real, all of this is still an upgrade from G Lawful Bors, which only ever had blue sharpness, unless you slot it in handicraft, but it's just not worth it, okay? Next up, as far as the armor goes, you have these 3 pieces. The only issue with the Guardian Ebony set is that they need to be transcended. Okay, that is the unfortunate part to this build. is that you need all three of these to be transcended to make this build as potent as it is. Okay. Lastly, you want the new Udra helmet and the Uthduna Greaves. Uthduna Greaves are great because it's going to give us Agitator, and it's going to give us the Quick Sheath when Gunlance is a little slower. Udra, obviously Burst. We want to max it out considering how strong Burst is, especially on Gunlance. Last but not least, you want an Artillery Charm. I actually have this one, which is nigh perfect for Gunlance, and that's because Gunlance really suffers from being in the middle of charging your Wyvern Fire shot, and boom, the monster roars. This rolled with earplugs, which is really nice. When you combine it with our Guardian Ebony Male beta, we also have earplugs, meaning all we need is one level 2 deco slot. Assuming your armor is transcended like mine, you are able to get an additional level 2 to make it even easier to rock Gunlance at its fullest capability. This recovery speed doesn't matter. Ideally, though, aim for Artillery 3. Even if you don't have earplugs, even if it's a charm that doesn't have an offensive deco, that's fine. Artillery 3 is what you're going for. Okay, as far as the decorations on the armor go, we have 2 jumping jewels. The reason we have these jumping jewels is because when you are playing Gunlance, you are definitely able to get around by using your shelling attacks. You're able to move, but because we are using a wide Gunlance, you don't get as many shelling attacks, meaning you're not going to go with 4. Evade Extender is going to make it a little bit easier to just kind of hop your way around, okay? Now, next up, you have your Protection Jewels. Protection Jewels, Divine Blessing. Divine Blessing is great. We have a Recovery Jewels, and this is just because these technically could be slotted in for literally anything else. I slotted them specifically because I have Recovery Speed already on my Talisman. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. They are open for whatever you want. If you wanted Adaptability, if you wanted to use Self-Improvement, if you wanted Speed Eating, it doesn't matter. In fact, the Shockproof one can also go. Okay, you have 3 level 1 deco slots that you do not need to worry about. You can put in whatever you want based on however you're feeling. Okay, so that being said, let's go ahead and put mine back on. So we had Recovery Speed. We had Recovery Speed. And we have Shockproof. Cool. Next up for our level 3s, we have 4 Challenger Jewels. This is going to make it to where we have maxed out Agitator. And last but not least is our 1 Earplugs Jewel. All of these things together lead to a very strong combination. It's kind of crazy. Last but not least, because we decided to go with Artillery on our charm, we're able to take full advantage of the rest of the bonuses that come with using Gunlance. Unfortunately, Artillery does not combo very well with other decoration slots, meaning it's a little harder to slot it in, which is why I significantly recommend you get the charm that has it, okay? The reason for it is because we are going with Guardian Ironwall, Magazine Attack, and Attack 3. These, mixed with how I have my decorations set up, give us not only attack boost maxed out, but offensive guard, artillery, and load shells. The only thing that we are missing is guard up. However, it's very easy to switch guard up. All you have to do is go ahead and look for it, and at least in my opinion, I would swap the offensive guard here. Artillery and load shells are extremely important, especially on Gunlance, which means you want to be making sure that it is high as humanly possible. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and showcase this a little bit. Let's go ahead and talk to Luke. We already have the dummy going. We have no wounds, selected skills, agitated. If we take a look here, we can see we are just under 300 for our raw attack, with no burst active, no offensive guard active. If we were to come over here, you can see we will get offensive guard proc. Once it's active, we went up to 338. 338 raw is a lot, okay? Now, if we were to include burst into the mix, we'll do the full combo just so you can see how much damage it does. And then we'll fire it with the Wyvern's Fire. You can see we do nearly 3,000 damage. 3,000 damage with one full combo. This is the bread and butter that everybody uses as far as everything goes with Gunlance. And you can see with burst active and our offensive guard, we have 364 raw attack. Now, on top of that, it is super, super easy to have burst active. Not to mention, you can just do crazy amounts of damage with your burst fire. Perfect guard everything thanks to the changes they made in Title Update 4. And you can see there, we hit for 227 a hit. Now, mind you, the only thing we have going for us is offensive guard, okay? Agitator is definitely one of those that's active when it's active, but the thing that everybody needs to remember here is that this is not a build that requires a lot of setup. You just need to attack the monster and guard. Well, when you've got a shield as big as the Gunlance's, guarding is fairly easy. That is going to do it for today's video, guys. I'm telling you, this Gunlance build is crazy. I highly recommend you try it. And if you're just starting to get into Gunlance, I seriously recommend this as far as a beginner build goes. Not only does it absolutely destroy everything, but it's also very user-friendly. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys are as interested in Title Update 4 as I am, as well as other games, make sure that you check out my Twitch over at twitch.tv/SnyperSama, where I am live most nights out of the week. That being said, I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.